Welcome to a 15-minute Glimmer of Gold chat with me. I do these on Sundays live on Instagram, and I'm getting back into the habit of saving them. I thought I'd share it with you guys here because you've got the option here. If my voice is too slow, you can fast forward. Always useful. However, I really try and temper my voice because I can get really excited and I just rattle things off, and that can crash others' brains in my excitement. Forever learning to do things. Sorry, it's obviously filmed in portrait versus landscape, so it's a different aspect, that's for sure. Anyway, I hope you enjoy, and if you watch it, let me know your thoughts. Where you can muse with me, and I will share some things that I'm going through that might help you. I'm getting back to my Sunday 11 a.m. Glimmers of Gold, where I will hopefully share a little bit of a nugget, that bit of thing that I find gold, and sometimes it's relevant, sometimes it's not to others, but it's more just putting things out there. Now, Glimmers of Gold started a couple of years ago for me of looking for things, right? You can find signs ultimately in many places if you're looking for them, and sometimes, more often than not, we don't even know what those bits of amazingness are going to be. Now, I had a really long conversation with my dad this morning. I've had a couple of very long conversations with him over the last week because I've needed to. And the things that you need to do for yourself fundamentally are, and every conversation that I've had has completely sparked in me something else that's been really important, really crucial. And it's this sort of, it's not even closing circles, because I'm really good at leaving open circles. I don't like closing circles necessarily. Finality for me, that is not something that I equate to. So the closing the ring, no desire. Now let's say I sometimes feel I exceed the ring 110%, you know, if you resonate with that you've never actually been able to get to the point of what you're looking for. So therefore, I reframed all of that and we're like, I don't even have a need to close the circle. I don't need to do the 100%. And we've all heard that many times, haven't we, in terms of getting tangled in the weeds, which Dad and I were talking about this morning, of the last bit of getting over a hurdle can take us so long, because all the good stuff is everything that has come before. And I'm all for the journey. Sometimes the destination is amazing, but not necessarily always. So do you have something that you kind of create a spark from? What is it? Do you have something? Like, so for me, it's my Glimmers of Gold. You know, there are some people who go ore hunting, like Susie Redding. She's one that has just really recently introduced that, of this ore hunting, of looking for it, finding it, looking at all the signs. And I thought this live would be a good one off the back of, I just put a post up with my dog this morning, and I was like, oh my God. We came back from Morocco 7 years ago. It's been 7 years since I went to Morocco last time. We've been to Marrakesh, and that's really, oh, my connection's just gone. Hopefully it's back. So came back from Marrakesh, and was like, capacity to have a dog in our lives, and got a dog. Okay, so dogs come in. Now I'm like, ooh, just come back from Morocco again. And I feel like there's another big shift that's about to happen. Now again, it could be the signs of everything. If you saw the 3 Ways with Narelle, I'll put the link down below. This week was about this sort of collision in the world right now of some really intense things ultimately going on, but every day provides some new intensity, doesn't it? So this week, it's February 2026, we have had, okay, let's start last weekend. Valentine's Day, if that's something that you're into or not. Anyway, it's a moment, it's a day, it's actually probably now become a worldwide universal thing, let's say, commercialization and all of that. Okay, but let's just put that there. Then we went into a whole series of things, from Shrove Tuesday to start of Lent, Chinese, the Lunar New Year. year also started. Many of you might be in sync with that. And then Ramadan also started whilst I was in Morocco, and I think there's some big phenomenal astrological thing about to happen that we've never ever experienced before in our lives. Hold on to that, because what have we experienced yet? Who knows? We've got so much more to experience. So I'm very much in terms of that. So this 7-year cycle, do you resonate with the 7-year cycle? I hadn't even thought about it. And I was like, what is that? You know, people are like this 7-year itch. And I'm like, ooh. And I started like tracking back, right? So like this year I have had far more capacity, been looking to do more. I've started studying neuroscience, and oh my God, it is mind-blowing. So fascinating. Going back to uni, for one, is just like, oh my goodness. But doing something to fundamentally help my mind process. I have no idea what's going to happen next. No idea. I'm okay to sit with the don't know, but it's actually really helped me just calm some of my questions, some of my why. I can't fix anyone else, unfortunately. I can sit by side, I can guide, I can be part of the journeys of others, but fundamentally, let's just shine the light back on yourself, right? Because that's what I keep reminding myself. Back to you. Now, this morning when I came home and I was like, oh, look at all the signs, right? What are the signs? Tracked back and was like, okay, January 2024, we're going back 2 years now, right? Not long before I had that osteoporosis diagnosis, right? I started that year with like, at this point of saturation. And it was about 6 months before then that I'd really kind of changed the way that I used this Instagram channel, how I used this page. And the world for me, I was getting into this really big funnel of noise and echoes, and I don't even know, right? And that's okay. I kind of dealt with all of that, but I was like, I needed to take that time out. That, you know, it's not a cliche, but again, the overused thing sometimes of this rest to digest, and what did that actually mean in terms of putting myself into the just ability and scope to be able to reflect. Okay, it's often used, let's just say, in terms of healing, food digestion and all the rest. But interestingly, studying neuroscience, this gut-brain axis is really new in the grand scheme of newness in the world. Like, we're talking less than a decade, right? So it's really not much in terms of all the data and the information coming out on it. But at that moment in time, so January 2012 or 24, I was like, there's just so much going on. I just needed to take this like moment out, because I could see myself going down this slope of other things repeating themselves. Again, interestingly, timing-wise, this cyclical nature of some of my behavior, looking at the things leading up to when I burnt out 8 years ago, this capacity, what we do to take on, and that part of capacity, of how much capacity we have got. Firstly, for me, I notice it with items of giving. It's a bit glitchy, sorry. My capacity for giving, my capacity for attention back on myself, my capacity for growth, my capacity for newness, my capacity for change. And I think this part of living, whatever it is, what floats your boat, what sparks anything, isn't it? That excitement to live for more, to want more, but not in a grabby way, but just a being and doing way. And that, like, scheduling fun in your calendar before all else. Absolutely. If capacity and scope is there for that, totally all for it. And having those markers of excitement. So I'm not good with planning holidays, for instance. That's something that I don't like, wishing away time, and I find it really hard to put markers in way ahead. So for me, although I do a sort of big breadth of planning as a sort of oversight of where I would kind of like goals and things to go, things to work towards, things to actively take action on, because historically I've put things out there and just been like, yeah, is it going to happen? But not actually take those active steps. And that's something that I have had to learn over, let's say, the last decade of really dialing into that. But again, it's just the relevance to age and stage, all of that. So now I'm like, ooh, interesting, that January a bit. Then I got that diagnosis right, and then I started to spiral slightly out of control. Finding what support, again, looked like for me, realizing that I didn't have the capacity to help myself, to look elsewhere for that support, for guidance, for advice, to look to professionals, to friends, to others. And that made me then reassess what all of that really, really looked like for me. What was this part of, where did I run empty ultimately, and where did I run low? And I think that kind of lowness that I've been speaking to my dad a lot about, this, what is there? What is the more that we desire? And often it's less of the things that are dampening that. I find that anyway. Does that resonate? Anyway, all my little musings, and I'm sure within that there's lots of little like bings. They're my glimmers. And just sharing this, just showing up and sharing how, gosh, I used to share. And I used to just give. And the part of why I used to do that, because it really helped me, and then it created conversation. And that's why I stopped putting these up and saving them, because I knew that people were watching, but with this crazy world of saturation and all the rest, the feedback loop just got severed. So interestingly now, studying this neuroscience, I have the most phenomenal lecturer. She is so inspiring. It's weird going back to uni. It's weird. Just the capacity to learn. I've got an exam coming up on Tuesday, and actually I'm freaking out. So that's what I'm doing after this, is putting my heads down and going through with some kind of focus. And anyway, I'm not going to let that overwhelm me. I just need to do it. Just need to crack on and do it. Who knows what happens next? But that part of this, the lag, the feedback loop, all of that, I'm just like, oh my God, there's analogies everywhere, all the signs. And I'm like, geez, Narelle, maybe this was all the moment to rest and start. I don't know what's going to happen next. I don't know what I'm going to use, what I'm studying for. And that's okay, because I'm really excited about the where next. I'm really excited. You would have heard me talk about that before. So excited about where my kids are off to next. They are not my stories to tell. They're their stories to tell. And I just happen to be a bystander and helping them make decisions, and this role of guidance, which sitting in the middle of, let's say, the sandwich generation, I've got a breadth of parents. I've got a breadth of people that can also parent me that aren't my biological parents. I've just glitched again. They are some older, some a little bit younger, some considerably younger than me. But this role of guidance is all ages, and I'm totally here for it. So any of that, made you think. Amazing. I'm going to go because I'm beginning to ramble now and share way too much in my little 15-minute glimmer of gold on a Sunday morning. So I hope you enjoyed it, and it's given me more food for thought. So yeah, I'm pleased, so pleased, haven't even appreciated 7 years between visits to Morocco. Definitely will not be so long next time, because all the trips that I've ever done have reignited something. And I had planned to go around my 50th. I planned to go the year before my 50th, and neither of those came off for a combination of reasons, and I got in the way of that. And I've got to stop getting in my own way. I'm going to get upset. I'm going. Bye. I don't want to well out. Anyway, I've listened to it back, and I'm okay with that. This sort of overriding part of emotions. I've just processed all of that, given myself some time, done a bit of a brain dump, got that out. Anyway, hope you enjoyed it. If you do, let me know. Bye.